Hey guys, it's Jordan. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you are having a great day wherever you are. Happy nearly September. I feel like 2020 has really just been March and April. That's it. Just the weather keeps getting warmer. And then all of a sudden summer is fleeting and fall is upon us. Happy back to school season for a lot of you. It's the end of August, so some of you may have already gone back to school or are getting ready to go back to school in the next month. For the first time ever, I'm actually not going back to school, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. 22 years of my life, every end of August, beginning of September, I've been gearing up, ready to go back to classes, and that is not the case. I am a 2020 graduate. Honestly, still a little freaked out about that one. It doesn't really feel like I graduated because I didn't have a graduation, but let it be known, I have my degree, I have my $200,000 piece of paper, and now I'm like eligible to be a legitimate adult, and pretty soon I'm gonna have to start paying bills and I'm working full-time and all this crazy stuff. It's kind of surreal. It hasn't really settled in yet, but I know that as soon as everybody is back in school, whether it be online or in person, like I'm really gonna feel it. So I have done my 4 years, I've done my time. I attended a small school just north of Boston. I still work in the admissions office there, so I am constantly speaking with prospective freshmen all the time. So I understand your doubts and your worries and anxieties. So I guess that makes me qualified to give advice about what my experience was like, and I hope that it's helpful for you. If you are going into college for the first time ever, congratulations. If you are a sophomore, junior, or senior, I'm sure this will be helpful too, because each year is a little bit different. Each year kind of brings its own adventure and its own problems with it. So just expect the unexpected, I guess. I'm so sorry to all of the students who aren't able to go back to school on campus. I know how important that is, but do not let that diminish the value of your education. You are still working towards a degree, and that degree has not changed. So please keep your head on straight and be strong. You're gonna make it through the semester, I promise you. Or the year, depending on everything else that's going on, we don't know. Even though it might not be what you planned, I really hope that you're able to make the most of it and recognize the growth that you will be going through this semester. And there are a couple things that I feel like I have to offer that aren't mentioned in some of those other advice videos, so stick around if you want to hear some of those things. It's really practical, really real, straightforward. I promise not to like sugarcoat anything for you guys, because honestly that's not helpful. The number one thing that I wanted to just say to you guys is your school is not your identity. It can contribute to your identity, but it's not your entire identity. You should be proud of where you go to school, even if it's a community college, because those are fantastic educations, and props to you for not having $80,000 in student debt. And your degree is just as valuable as somebody who got their degree from Harvard or Yale. In the professional world, it really only matters where you do your postgraduate work, so where you get your master's and your PhD. Your undergraduate is really just to get that piece of paper, because the bachelor's degree is kind of becoming like a high school GED now when it comes to employment. So if you didn't get into the school that you wanted to this time around, don't let it define you. You can always try again when you do your master's. You can always transfer if you really want to. Classes are difficult, so time management has to be a priority. I was somebody who took 20 credits every semester, which was the maximum that you're allowed to take. I did so much extracurricular that every single hour of my day was booked with something, and I was like scheduling in times to meet with people. I really think that time management is like the number one skill that you need to have in college, because you're going to overcommit yourself. You're going to find yourself doing so many different things and not knowing how to juggle it or budget your time. So really make time management a priority, because you don't want to sleep through the class and then not retain any information and then fail the test. So manage your time. Following up with that, I would say find a good organizational system that works for you. For me, I bullet journaled throughout college, and that really helped me because it was a creative aspect with some logical scheduling assistance. You can use Google Calendar, you can use Outlook Calendar. There's so many great ways to organize your time, write it out on a piece of paper. I know that some people don't like bullet journaling because it just seems to take a lot of effort, and that's okay. Just find what works for you, and it's really going to make such a huge difference in your productivity. The next thing that I wanted to mention is it is okay to change your major. I personally did not change my major because I had known what I wanted to major in since I was like 12, so I stuck through it. But there were times, especially in the last school year, that I really wanted to drop my philosophy major. I was a double major in music and philosophy, and honestly there were times where I was just like, I can't do this anymore, philosophy is way too hard, and I legitimately like thought about dropping it. I ended up having to drop a pre-law minor because I was also doing a concentration, and everything just didn't fit. The classes were so limited that I wasn't able to get it all in time. But I do have a friend whose name is Sophia, and she is a queen. She was originally a kinesiology major, but at the end of her sophomore year changed to a business major and ended up getting a kinesiology minor, and she still graduated a semester early, which I'm like, you go girl, like you're actually slaying this. You have maximized your time so well. She was very flustered when she was changing her major initially, but it turned out to be the best decision for her. So you are not locked into your major, at least until your last year, your senior year of college. So just remember that you do have that flexibility if you find in your first or second semester or even your second year that this major isn't for you, you do have that flexibility to change. This is probably one of the best money saving tips that you'll get in college. You're always told to budget extra for your books, and those book prices get lofty because there can be textbooks for like $300. A lot of mine were either really expensive or like cheap little Rene Descartes $7 books. But for the most part, what I did is I would either rent my textbooks or find someone to share it with. So we would split the cost of rent and then each alternate days on which we had the book and when we needed it. I shared most, if not all of my music textbooks with my friend Carter. We would just swap the book around every couple of days depending on who needed it and who wanted to do the homework. We just made sure to communicate with each other, and that actually really solidified our friendship. So if you're looking for friends, ask someone if they want to split the cost of books with you. But nowadays, especially for my philosophy courses, I found so many of the PDFs online. There's a wide realm of access to your college textbooks online. So before you go buy a book, really scour the internet, see if you can get it for free as a PDF or even way discounted as a PDF, just letting you know. So do your research on what your textbooks are and see if you can find them free before you buy them. Unless you really want to purchase a textbook, you can, by all means. I've purchased textbooks before, but if you want to save money, you can rent, share, or find a free PDF. So you do have a lot of liberty in your electives that you choose and in some of the classes in your major, especially if you go to a school with a large list of offerings. You oftentimes have to take specific classes for your major. So there are always your general ed classes and then your basic major classes, but then some of those electives, you have the freedom to choose what you want. Do your research on which classes are good, which professors students enjoyed, and take a class that you're interested in, because you'll retain the information more and you'll do better on the tests because you're actually paying attention in class. It'll just help you in the long run have a more enjoyable academic experience. So take some time, go through that course list catalog before you register for classes, and I promise you, you'll have a better academic experience. All you freshmen, all you 18-year-olds, start saving money now. Whether you have an on-campus job, an off-campus job, start putting money in a savings account that you don't touch, because by the end of your senior year, you may find yourself financially ready to live on your own, because that's the ultimate goal, is you are looking to move out of your parents' house and start your own life and start your own career, and you kind of need a cushion of money. Plus, if you start saving and investing now, you'll have a better return on investment in the long run. So, but again, you can do whatever But again, you can do whatever you want with your money. I would just encourage you to start good saving habits now. And with regard to roommates, it's okay to not live with the same person, and then it is okay to live with the same person. I personally had a different roommate every 4 years. One was a girl that I knew from high school, one was a girl that I had never met, someone was a mutual friend, and then another was like a pretty good friend of mine. Your relationships to people will change. I even lived a semester by myself in a room. I still love and appreciate all of the girls that I live with. I was never like best friends with my roommate because that can be dangerous sometimes. You know, there's just clingy issues and then you're seeing each other all the time. It's kind of like getting annoyed with your family when you're around them so much. But if you find out that you don't live with a person well, but you're better as friends, it's totally okay to not live with them. I have some friendships that actually grew stronger out of not living with them. My cousin went to the same school as I did for a little bit, and we decided not to live together just because we loved the relationship that we had, and as much fun as it would be to live together, we just wanted our own experiences. And again, that is okay. So don't be upset if your roommate is not your best friend or who you expected and you have to change, and that's just kind of life. You meet people for seasons and you just gotta keep moving forward. I think it's so cool when there are people who have roommates as their best friend, but I also found that for me personally it was better if me and my roommate were kind of involved in two different things just because we had our own interests, and then we could come back and we could talk to each other and build our friendship that way. Now, following up with that, your friend groups will change. There are very few people that I know, especially at a very small college, that actually stayed in the same friend group from freshman year. Typically, you don't have the same friends your freshman year as you do later on in college, just because interests change, you grow up, you mature a little bit, and people go their own way. People you had classes with your freshman year, you might not have class with again. So I would just say, like, be prepared for things to change. Doesn't mean that you have to lose touch with people. It just means that you might not be seeing them every single second of every single day. I found a great handful of people that I made like intentional one-on-one relationships so I could hang out with them, as well as hang out with, you know, a group of people like in my major. And you're also not obligated to make friends with people in your major either. Go out, get some perspective, find people that are doing a psychology major if you're an English major, or engineering if you are an exercise science major, or an art major if you're a STEM major. It really helps to broaden your perspective to meet people from different backgrounds that are interested in different things. And on that note of like making friends, because friend groups change so often, don't be afraid to just like introduce yourself to anybody. Especially if you see someone kind of sitting on their own in class, just go up, introduce yourself to them. They're probably more concerned with how they look versus you coming up to them and them thinking that it's weird that you're talking to them. They're probably way more internally focused on how others perceive them, that if you come up as a warm, smiling face, they are more likely to be your friend. It doesn't hurt just to introduce yourself to somebody, because who knows, they could end up being your best friend for life and the maid of honor or the best man in your wedding. So I wanted to talk about college parties a little bit in here, just because no matter where you go, there will be a party scene, whether it's big or small. My school didn't have any sororities or fraternities, and that's really fine. That wasn't something that I was super interested, but I know people who were really excited and wanted to go to a school with a sorority or a fraternity and got super involved and had an amazing experience. My school was just too small, and it wasn't super important to us, but we did have a party scene, and there were like a couple different party scenes. There was like the athlete and jock party scene, and then there was like kind of the artsy kids. But for the most part, like, college parties are really not that interesting. It's kind of just a room of people standing around getting high and getting drunk. They really don't do anything. There's usually like a small group of people that are dancing to music. So if you're into that, by all means go. I went to some parties in college, and I mean, they weren't the most memorable nights of my life. I wouldn't say that like partying in college was definitely the best time of my life, but it was good to like socialize with people, and I'm glad that I've gone. You are not obligated to go to any parties, and no one should be forcing you to go to parties if you don't want to. When it comes to to dating, you'll find like different ranges of people dating. You find those long-term relationships that literally go from freshman year to post-grad. My freshman year roommate started dating her boyfriend like the second day of orientation, and they're still together, still going strong. They're such a great couple. There are also like short-term dating where people are just kind of dating around and super casual, and then there's the hookup scene where people are just, I don't think I have to explain it. I personally did not date in college. I've actually never been on a date, if you want to know the real tea. And like, that's okay. I wasn't going to my school to find my future husband. There is a huge stigma around like meeting your significant other for life in college, and that just didn't happen for me, and I'm totally okay with that. I just didn't find somebody that was worth the time and energy that I wanted to put into a relationship. I met so many great guys, so many great people, and I don't know, I'm very intentional when it comes to dating and relationships, that I just don't feel like it's necessary for me to waste my time or waste somebody else's time if I don't feel like it's the right thing. It's okay to date, and congratulations if you end up finding your future spouse, but it's just fun to get to know people, so don't shy away from it if that's something that you're interested in. Following up on the dating spectrum, but even just relationally in general, prepare yourself for some heartbreak. College is a pretty big transitional time in your life. So much growth happens in those 4 years. You will be amazed at how different of a person you are when you were 17 versus when you're 22. I know that I'm not the same person as I was when I left for college. It really grows you and stretches you. So you will be heartbroken at some point, whether it be a breakup with a significant other, or even a breakup with a friend. I actually went through quite a few friend breakups, which were really, really difficult to get through, but you know, we're here on the other side of it, and I'm able to tell you about it, and I definitely grew as a person from them. Okay, so my camera died, so I had to put a new battery, and now we have a slightly different shot, but it's okay. I also wanted to say, don't be afraid to ask for help. College is a very physically, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally taxing time, that it's okay to be vulnerable and ask for help. I'm somebody who's very, very stubborn. I am a 3-wing 2 on the Enneagram scale. I'm a Taurus, for those of you that are into like astrology, and I always need to be looking like I'm on my game, but there were times that I definitely had to swallow my pride and ask for help. I am absolutely 100% an overachiever type, and so there was one thing that my dad constantly reminded me when I'd be on the phone with him, super stressed. He was like, I know you want A's, but just remember, C's get degrees. It's totally okay not to have a perfect GPA, though you should probably still care about your GPA if you're trying to go to grad school, but besides that, if there's an assignment that's really difficult, it's not going to be the end of the world if you get a C on it. The next thing that I want to share is, if you are on a smaller college campus or one in a city, make sure you get off your college campus at some point and go explore the surrounding area. Odds are you're going to the school for a reason, so why not get to know the actual community that lives there and is involved there? You can get so locked in and trapped in the bubble of your college campus. There's never a point in your life where you'll be around 18 to 22 plus year olds all the time, every single day, so get involved in your community. Real life is waiting for you, so like, why not go meet people who are actually living it? I know so many people that got trapped on our college campus and never went off. Honestly, it's just kind of sad, because I feel like you're not maximizing your time. My last and final piece of advice for you: do everything. Do everything you can. Double major if you want to, study abroad, join an athletics team, join clubs and organizations, and do the things that you're passionate about, because you will never get this time in your life back again. So make the most of it now. You don't want to be looking back regretting things that you didn't do. So why not just do everything? Don't let anybody stop you, because it's your life. You are the one in control of making your own decisions. So if you want to go play rugby on your college team and you're able to because they didn't recruit people, heck, and go play rugby. Like, audition for a theater production or something. You do you, boo-boo. Hashtag no regrets. I'm so glad that I ran cross country and track. I'm so glad that I did jazz ensemble. I am beyond grateful that I studied abroad and all these things. So make the most of your college experience. Don't be too shy to not do something that you're passionate about. Now is the time to pursue your passions and figure out who you want to be and where you want to go in life. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. That is all I have for you today. Best of luck to all the incoming freshmen that are watching this, and best of luck to everybody who is either transferring or even just starting a new year if you're a sophomore, junior, or senior. I am so sorry that you may or may not be on campus and things are crazy like this. Trust me, I understand. Make the most of this semester, stay connected with your people, and you're gonna do great. I hope you have an amazing semester. And if you don't already, you might want to hit that subscribe button down below, hit that like button if you like this video, leave a comment below what you are majoring in or what you are most excited about for this upcoming school year, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!